I'm here, you're here, and I'm Little Wisp. And I created Glyph magic. Well, sorta. I made this little app that detects circle shapes and then generates orbs. And I'm gonna show you how I did it. As an theowlhouse fan, I sometimes jokingly draw circles and then press them because, I don't know, maybe something will happen. I sound crazy. Anyways, this made me think, what if I can actually make something like that? I remember when the PlayStation 3 came out with this Harry Potter game, where you can use motion controllers to interact with this book called the Book of Spells. It used a mix of camera tracking and augmented reality to make it look like real magic on your TV screen. The PlayStation Eye camera recorded the player, the book and the wand. The Book of Wonders it was called or something. And it wasn't a normal book. It had printed black and white patterns on each page, similar to QR codes. Each pattern had its own ID. So when the camera saw it, the system knew exactly which page you had opened and where it was in 3D space. The glowing orb on the PlayStation 3 Move controller acted as a bright color marker. The camera tracked that orb's position and movement, while sensors inside the controller helped the console understand its rotation and gestures. The PlayStation 3 then combined this tracking data with 3D graphics. It rendered magical effects like fire, light, or creatures on top of the live camera feed, matching the book's position so it looked like the effects were coming from the pages itself. How cool is this? I really wanted to have this game as a kid. Oh my god. Now, of course, all of this stuff is cool, but a little bit too complicated for me. I know a bit of coding, but I'm at beginner level and I want to keep this as simple as possible. So we're gonna do it a bit differently. We're gonna use a camera and code a system for it that can detect circle-like shapes. I want to keep it simple, so I'm gonna only try to recreate the light spells. I know the spells aren't just made in a circle, but it's easier to detect circles than the whole shape of the light spell, so I'm sorry if it's not accurate, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so we're gonna need a couple things. We need a webcam. I'm using the PlayStation 3 camera. Why? I only have the webcam of my laptop, which is not movable, so the PlayStation 3 camera is the only other option. The quality is kinda meh, but it does a trick. We do need to install this driver in order to detect the PlayStation 3 camera as a normal webcam camera. Now that I think of it, I could have also just used my phone as a webcam camera, but whatever, I already used the PlayStation 3 camera. Next, we need paper and marker. And finally, we need Python to code the whole thing. I chose Python because I've heard it's easy to use and I want to see if I can create something with coding language that I am not familiar with. I'm gonna be using ChatGPT to help me out a bit, so yeah. Alright, let's get into it. I first set up the camera, it's very ghetto, but hey, it works. Okay, so I did my setup in Python in a few steps. Number 1, the camera setup. The program finds my webcam and starts streaming. You can switch between cameras to find the PlayStation 3 camera. For some reason, it would first go to my webcam instead of my PlayStation 3 camera, and I was too lazy to figure out why, so I just added a switch button. Okay, the next step, paper and circle detection. The camera looks for a bright piece of paper, it then searches for round shapes drawn on that paper. If it finds clean circles, it marks it as active glyph area. 3. Motion confirmation. Like in the hours, I wanted there to be a tapping motion to confirm the spells before you cast them, cause it's cool. So the app compares each frame to the previous one. When something moves inside the circle, it measures how much. This gesture makes it so you can only cast one orb per tab. This doesn't work as perfectly as I wanted it to, but it sort of works, so it's okay. 4. The last step, the glowing orbs. After tapping the circle, a glowing orb appears, and it kind of floats around, kind of like a magic, and it looks really cute. I'm so proud. Do I know what all of my code means? Not really, but it creates orbs, so that's something. Okay, so here are a couple of my test runs. First, I wanted to test if the program detects the circles. Okay, so it works, not perfectly, but it works. Next, I wanted to test if tapping could create orbs. I love my reaction. Okay, so what's happening here? I tell the program to only look for circles on paper. It finds an area, removes glare, and ignores the background. This makes detecting the circles a lot easier. I blur the image so a little bit of the noise disappears, then use half circles to look for the round shapes. When it finds a circle, it tests if it's a real circle, so it has to be on paper, it must be the right size, and the circle must be darker than the inside and the outside of it. This is to make sure that it doesn't detect any shadows or other marks. Then I track motion inside the circle. When you tap once, motion goes up and down. And that is when the orbs appear. There's a small cooldown here, so it doesn't spawn too many orbs. You can see that after I tap, you see that the circle turns green, and this is to give feedback that the tapping worked. Later on, I also added an image instead of the circle shapes for the orbs. It just makes it more magical and look more like the light spells in the owl house. They're so tiny! Later on, I made them a bit bigger. I also added this digital zoom just to make the image a bit bigger. I ended up not using this because it just made the quality worse and it could not detect the circles at all. So it's a cool feature, but I just need a better camera for this. And yeah, that's kinda it. After some bug fixing, it finally worked! Is it perfect? Not really, but I wanted to see what I could do as a beginner. And maybe using ChatGPT is cheating a little bit, but I was more focusing on the process of creating it and the problem solving instead of perfectly understanding everything I was doing with my code. Anyways, that was all, I think. Maybe I'll tweak the app a little bit to make it more accurate to actual glyph shapes. Maybe make some different spells, that'd be kind of cool. But for now, this is my first attempt at creating glyph magic. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want more stuff like this, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching. And the remainder of this video will look like this.